Getting computer applications, also called apps, to make money might require a different approach than has been the case. In the African ecosystem, grant funding has helped many, but is also slowly dwindling. Experts therefore recommend a more market demand approach to app development.
I think that perhaps it will be a time where we start to see startups that don't make it to stages where they would previously make based on grants and funds that are now not available. That has two consequences. One consequence is that a lot of people need to rethink what they're doing, and the other one is that they need to be less reliant on these grants and be more reliant on an actual market-driven approach, which is a positive thing. And I think especially if we look at the African context, some of the very mature discussions we're having with the community players here and that we had in Kenya already last year talked about this kind of dependency on grants for some of the startups that focus their time and energy on solving issues because there is money and funding available from some of the NGOs that want to solve these issues. You know, a lot of it connected with the SDGs. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think it creates a perverse incentive for some of the startups to solve that based on the granting opportunities rather than market opportunities.
Innovation Village with partners have now embarked on an effort to create a startup policy that government will adopt to make sure the full potential for innovations is harnessed.
So this workshop is to help draft a startup policy that will help the Ugandan government to support entrepreneurs, because we believe that also the politicians don't really have much in-depth understanding.
The reasons why we do events like this and we continue to do the interventions that we do is to shine a light on the fact that A, that critical talent exists in this market. B, there is a structure in which you can bring in capital to enable that talent to realize their idea. And C, that talent needs inspiration and exposure for them to know that what they're doing can actually scale internationally. Once you begin to have that interesting ecosystem of ideas, meeting the right environment to be able to execute them and finding what we call stage-relevant capital, you have the ingredients of what will then become eventually an ecosystem as strong as a Kenya or a Nigerian-type ecosystem.
Technology is service-based startups, a low-hanging fruits by which the country can speedily transform from an agricultural economy, tapping into the dividend of its young population. Rachel Nabisubi, NTV Business.